Tevat has its own laws. We've analyzed the elements, the appearance, and the power of visions. But why do humans and human-like creatures receive them in the first place? For a quick recap on the elements,
this title and its legacy of bloodshed are now yours to bear.
You must have seen the Palace of Alcazarzaray before. I sacrificed so much for that. Everyone else thought I'd lost my mind.
I wish not for dominion. Yet I cannot watch the common folk suffer.
Next time you're looking for directions, I suggest you find your own way.
For that is my duty as Divine Priestess.
Waking world, you seem woven from the stuff of dreams.
So long as the light of the hearth still shines, I'll always have a home to return to.
Upon reflection, these are all admirable traits. It would seem whoever is responsible for these criteria has very particular tastes. It sure was lucky that the gods who won the Archon War also have these qualities in spades.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
With that seed planted, let us return to it another day. For now, let's turn our attention back to Vision Wielders. What separates a Vision Wish from any other? Why did Lisa get a shiny rock relaxing in her lazy boy, while Ellen trains every day to be just like Jean? I would categorize the elements in two types: goals and mindsets. The goal-based wishes are typically granted Pyro, Geo, Dendro, or Animo, based on the specifics of their plans and the substance of their character. For instance, Amber goes out of her way to help everyone like a Geo user, but she does it to uphold her grandfather's legacy and spread the name of the Outrider. For the mindset-based wishes, Hydro, Cryo, and Electro are the norm. These are constant, day to day, moment to moment. There is no end, only the commitment to continue in perpetuity. The difference mainly comes down to where their commitments lie. To circle back around, Lisa has achieved great power and greater knowledge. It was only when she decided to lay back and leave her potential in the air that her blatant weirdness was rewarded with a vision. Meanwhile, Ellen seems like a perfect match for a Pyrovision, yet she remains powerless. This is two factors. One, Jean is still fulfilling her own legacy. There's no need to pass on the torch yet. Two, Ellen has very little to no connection with the Dandelion Knight she idolizes. If she were to ever realize this and devote herself to acting accordingly, she may find herself with her very own Electrovision one day. In all, the ones who were granted visions have an unshakable desire to pursue one of these specific virtues. As to who's making these decisions, theory for another day. That said, there have been a few anomalous occurrences regarding Vision Wielders. The most notable two would be Child's vision failing, and Kazuha's dual wielding. Let's start with the more concrete of the two. Kazuha reawakening his dead friend's Electrovision. As an Animo user, Kaidehara Kazuha does what others will not. Others lack the drive, the ability, or the desire to do what the Animo wielder sets out for. This is a very important part of the scene playing out as it did. Kazuha's friend had the wish to block the unblockable Muso no Hidotachi. With his Electrovision, defying normalcy was his jam. In the moment when the vision reawakened, those two specific ambitions overlapped. Kazuha, in that incredibly specific moment, had the power, drive, and will to do the impossible. He blocked the unblockable instant death attack. The very second his parry finished, his dual resonance stopped, and the Electrovision lay lifeless once more. I highly doubt this trick would work with any other elemental combination without another incredibly specific situation arising. Next up is Child's hydrovision turning off at inopportune times. This explanation is much more speculative and comes in a few flavors. First up, he could have been failing to uphold his Hydro Oath to fight strong opponents and grow through combat. When we see it firsthand, he's picking on trash mobs who stand no chance. Certainly not strong opponents, and certainly no growing from that. He had been trying to fight Clarande, Fontaine's strongest fighter, but couldn't get her to go full strength against him. Failure to uphold his oath was punished. Option 2 is that the power of a vision must pass through its elemental archon, allowing Focalors to simply stop maintaining Child's connection. This ultimately resulted in a series of events that led Child to delaying the narwhal while the prophecy played out. Once Focalors removed herself from the equation, Neuvillette assumed the role of Hydrovision Sustainer and had no reason to further deny Child his boons. The final option is that his path to grow stronger was hindered by his vision. It recognized it was functionally a crutch holding its owner back. In order to allow for growth, it denied him power and forced change upon its wielder. That addresses all the anomalies. Except I lied.
There is another.
And we'll talk about it a little later. In addition to all of that, it would seem that strong enough elemental beings can gift their alignment to others in a much more direct way than visions. Venti has given portions of his own Animo authority to no less than 3 other beings: Traveler, Dvalin, and Andrius. This unlocked a minigame in the Traveler. Andrius turned from Mono-Cryo to Cryo-Animo, and Dvalin implied that all of the 4 winds receive a similar gift. By the way, it may have been a bad time to give away a huge chunk of your power, Barbados.
Piece of...
Speaking of giving away power, with the information we have, we can infer how an Inazuman gains Dendro. Despite being of one nation and possessing a vision made in the likeness of that nation's Archon, the gem can be of any element. This seems to be a result of the Heaven's collection and distribution process. They collect vast power into thrones, and those thrones connect remotely with their respective Gnosis. The 7 Gnoses are all created from the same source, the remains of the 3rd Descender. This being was described as resonating easily with every element of Tevat, very similarly to the Traveler. These Gnoses, despite being separate, act as one full being. Now is the time to address that final anomaly with visions. In their fight against an Archon, the Traveler managed to resonate with 99 visions at the same time. Every single element at once. As a natural conductor of all elements, just like the 3rd Descender, Traveler was able to act as a proto-Gnosis. However, it only worked inside a pocket dimension, and with the vision's powers given willingly. Traveler might find it difficult to recreate in the future, seeing as the whole situation was of Yaimiko's creation. When the call comes for an Archon to portion off a sliver of power for a vision wielder, that Archon is accessing the greater whole. To put it in simpler terms, Venti can connect Barbara and Focalors' throne with a Mondstadt-branded cable. Then again, Neuvillette did say he set aside pieces of his own power to turn into visions. What other lore did Neuvillette casually drop?